Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jaya Pataka Swami Maharaj on January 24th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Pangulang Tegarim Yatisatamahan Mande Sri Gurum Dinatadinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Islam Harihi Om Tat Sat. The compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book.
Compilation of the Sri Chaitanya book.
This chapter regarding Lord Chaitanya and Ramana Rai's discussion is entitled.
This chapter regarding the discussion of Lord Chaitanya and Ramana Rai is entitled Srimati Radharani's loving affairs are beyond compare.
গোপী মধ্যে কৃষ্ণ যেন মণি মধ্যে মরকট। শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতম দশম স্কন্দের 33-6। তত্রাতিষু সবেতাভি ভগবান দেবকী সুত মধ্যে মণিনাং হৈমানাং মহামারকত যথা।
Although the son of Devaki, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all kinds of beauty, when he is among the gopis, he nonetheless becomes more beautiful. For he resembles a Markata jewel surrounded by gold and other jewels.
গোপীর কৃষ্ণ প্রেমায় সাধ্য বোধি হইলেও প্রভুর পুনঃ প্রশ্ন। প্রভু কয়ে এই সাধ্য বোধি শুনি নিশ্চয়, কৃপা করি কহ যদি আগে কিছু হয়।
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "This is certainly the limit of perfection. But please be merciful to me and speak more if there is more."
Lord Chaitanya was squeezing Ramana Rai for more nectar.
Lord Chaitanya was squeezing Ramananda Roy for more nectar.
He wants to take the Krishna conscious discussion to the highest limit.
He wanted to take the Krishna conscious discussion to the highest limit.
প্রশ্নকর্তা প্রভুর অসমর্থত্ব বলিয়া রায়ের জ্ঞান। রায় কহে ইহার আগে পুছে হেন জানে, এত দিন নাহি জানি আচ্ছা এ ভুবনে।
Rai Ramananda replied, "Until this day, I did not know anyone within this material world who could inquire beyond this perfectional stage of devotional service."
উহা শ্রী রাধার কৃষ্ণ প্রেমায় সাধ্য শিরোমণি। ইহার মধ্যে রাধার প্রেম সাধ্য শিরোমণি, যাহার মহিমা সর্বশাস্ত্রেতে ব্যাখ্যানি।
Among the loving affairs of the gopis, Ramananda Rai continued, Srimati Radharani's love for Sri Krishna is topmost. Indeed, the glories of Srimati Radharani are highly esteemed in all revealed scriptures.
Ramananda Rai said, no one has asked him previously beyond the Krishna and the gopis relationship.
So Ramananda Rai said, no one has asked him prior to this about the relationship between Krishna and the gopis.
Higher than that.
Higher than that.
But then he replied, Radharani's love for Krishna is topmost.
Then he replied that Radharani's love for Krishna is topmost.
শ্রী রাধার ন্যায় শ্রী রাধাকুণ্ড কৃষ্ণপৃষ্ঠ লঘুগম্মিত 2:45 ধৃত পদ্মপুরাণ বাক্য যথা রাধা প্রিয়া বিষ্ণু তস্যা কুণ্ডং প্রিয়ং তথা সর্বগোপীষু শৈবৈকা বিষ্ণুরত্যন্ত বল্লভা.
Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Sri Krishna, her bathing place, Radhakunda, is also dear to him. Among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is supermost and very dear to Lord Krishna. Purport. This verse is from Padma Purana as is included in the Laghu Bhagat Amrita by Sri Rupa Goswami. It also appears in the Adi Leela, chapter 4, verse 215, and again in the Madhya Leela, chapter 18, verse 8.
Also appears in the Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami.
Also appears in the Uddesha Amrita by Sri Rupa Goswami.
That the glories of Radhakunda,
That the glories of Radhakunda,
the glories of Radhakunda.
glories of Radhakunda.
ভাগবতে শ্রী রাধার ইঙ্গিত ও অদ্বিতীয়ত্ব শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতম দশম স্কন্ধের 30-28 অনায়ারাধিত নং ভগবান হরিশ্বর জন্না বিহায় গোবিন্দ পিত জামনদ্রহ.
When the gopis began to talk among themselves, they said, "Dear friends, the gopi who has been taken away by Krishna to a secluded place must have worshipped the Lord more than anyone else." Purport. The name Radha is derived from this verse, Bhagavatam 10:30-28, from the words Anaya Radhita, meaning by her the Lord is worshipped. Sometimes the critics of Srimad Bhagavatam find it difficult to find Radharani's holy name in that book, but the secret is disclosed here in the word Radhita, from which the name Radha has come. Of course, the name of Radharani is directly mentioned in other Puranas. This gopis' worship of Krishna is topmost, and therefore her name Radha, or the topmost worshipper.
Since Sukadeva Goswami, if he mentioned Radharani's name, he may not be able to continue speaking.
Since Sukadeva Goswami, if he were to say the name of Radharani, he may not be able to continue speaking
Because he may get overwhelmed by ecstasy.
because he may get overwhelmed by ecstasy.
But in this verse, he indirectly mentioned the name of Radharani.
But in this verse, he indirectly mentions Srimati Radharani.
And so, like a kettle drum, it has resounded the name of Radharani.
So, in this verse, like a kettle drum, this has announced the glorious name of Radharani
By saying Aradhita.
by saying Aradhita.
So, indirectly, Sukadeva Goswami mentioned the name of Radharani.
So, indirectly, Sukadeva Goswami mentions the name of Radharani.
And this is very important.
And this is very important.
প্রভুর উল্লাস ও রায়ের প্রশংসা কীর্তন প্রভু কহে আগে কহ শুনিতে পাই সুখে অপূর্বামৃত নদী বহে তোমারও মুখে.
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Please speak on. I'm very happy to hear you because a river of unprecedented nectar is flowing from your mouth."
অদ্বিতীয়া শ্রী রাধাতে কৃষ্ণের নিরপেক্ষ প্রেম চুরি করি রাধাকে নিল গোপীগণের ডরে অন্যপেক্ষা হইলে প্রেমের গাঢ়তা না ফুরে.
During the Rasa dance, Sri Krishna did not exchange loving affairs with Srimati Radharani due to the presence of other gopis. Because of the dependence of the others, the intensity of love between Radha and Krishna was not manifest. Therefore, he stole her away. Purport. Out of fear of other gopis, Lord Sri Krishna took Srimati Radharani to a secluded place. In this regard, the verse Kamsariri Api, verse 106 in this chapter, will be quoted from Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami.
So, Krishna by taking Radharani away towards the Buddha place, so that she had worshipped Krishna more.
So Krishna, by taking Srimati Radharani away, had showed that she had worshipped Krishna the topmost.
Other gopis, in one sense, are happy that one of the gopis had stolen away Krishna's heart.
But other gopis, in one sense, were happy that one among them had stolen heart of Krishna.
শ্রী রাধাতে কৃষ্ণের একনিষ্ঠ প্রেম। রাধা লাগি গোপীরে যদি সাক্ষাৎ করে ত্যাগ, তবে জানি রাধাই কৃষ্ণের গাঢ় অনুরাগ।
If Lord Krishna rejected the company of the other gopis for Srimati Radharani, we can understand Lord Shri Krishna has intense affection for her.
শ্রী রাধাতে কৃষ্ণ প্রীতির নিরুপমত্ব। রায় কহে তবে শোনো প্রেমের মহিমা, ত্রিজগতে রাধা প্রেমের নাহি কো উপমা।
Ramananda Rai continued, please therefore hear from me about the glories of Srimati Radharani's loving affairs. They are beyond compare within these three worlds.
So the Gaudiyas worship Radharani because she's the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna.
So the Gaudiyas worship Srimati Radharani because she is the topmost devotee of Lord Krishna.
So Prabhupada said that Radharani says to Krishna, have mercy on the devotee, and certainly Krishna will have mercy.
So Prabhupada says, if Srimati Radharani says to Krishna to have mercy on the devotee, then certainly Krishna will do it.
সেবকের সেবা লাভার্থ তাহার অদর্শনে সেব্যের বিলাপ। গোপীগণের রাস নৃত্য মণ্ডলী ছাড়িয়া, রাধা চাই বনে ফিরে বিলাপ করিয়া।
Finding herself treated equally with all the other gopis, Srimati Radharani displayed her tricky behavior and left the circle of the rasa dance. Missing Srimati Radharani's presence, Krishna became very unhappy and began to lament and wandered throughout the forest to search her out.
শ্রী রাধাই কৃষ্ণ প্রীতি সেবার মূর্তি। শ্রী গীত গোবিন্দ 3:1-2। কংসারিরপি সংসার বাসনাবদ্ধ শৃঙ্খলম, রাধা মাধায় হৃদয়ে তত্ত্বজ ব্রজ সুন্দরী।
Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, took Srimati Radharani within his heart, for he desired to dance with her. Thus, he left the arena of the rasa dance and the company of all the other beautiful damsels of Vraja.
So Radharani knew how to conquer Krishna's heart.
So Srimati Radharani knew how to conquer Krishna's heart.
And so
ইতস্তত মনুসৃত্য রাধিকাম, অনঙ্গবান ব্রণ ক্ষীণ মানস, পিতানু তাপসা কালিন্দ নন্দিনী, তটন্ত কুঞ্জে বিশাসাদ মাধব।
Being afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and unhappily regretting his mistreating Srimati Radharani, Madhava, Lord Krishna, began to search for her along the banks of the Yamuna river. When he failed to find her, he entered the bushes of Vrindavan and began to lament. Purport: these two verses are from Gita Govinda, written by Jayadev Goswami.
So normally Krishna is Ajita, he is unconquerable.
So normally Krishna is Ajita, unconquerable.
We see these verses that he has been conquered by Radharani.
But we can see by these verses that he has been conquered by Srimati Radharani.
উক্ত শ্লোকদায় বিচার, এই দুই শ্লোকের অর্থ বিচারিলে জানি, বিচারিতে ওঠে যেন অমৃতেরও খনি।
Simply by considering these two verses, one can understand what nectar there is in such dealings. It is exactly like freeing a mine of nectar.
And Krishna says that he reciprocates with the loving offerings of his devotees.
Krishna says that he reciprocates with the loving offerings of his devotees.
We can see that Radharani love is so uncomparable that even Krishna is unable to repay.
But we see that Radharani's love is so uncomparable that even Krishna is unable to repay it.
রাস বর্ণ শতকোটি গোপী সঙ্গে রাস বিলাস, তার মধ্যে এক মূর্তি রহে রাধা পাশ।
Although Krishna was in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis, during the Rasa dance, he still kept himself in one of his transcendental forms by the side of Srimati Radharani.
শ্রী রাধিকার কৃষ্ণ প্রেমে বামতা ভাবের প্রাধান্য, সাধারণ প্রেম দেখি সর্বত্র সমতা, রাধার কুটিল প্রেম হইল বামতা।
Lord Krishna is equal to everyone in his general dealings, but due to the conflicting ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani, there were opposing elements.
Radharani was having so many special dealings
Radharani was having so many special dealings
that she always kept Krishna in suspense.
In suspense.
কৃষ্ণ প্রেমার কৌটিল্য উজ্জ্বল নীলমণিতে শৃঙ্গার ভেদ কথনে 102। ওহেরিব গতি প্রেমন স্বভাব কুটিলা ভবেৎ, অত হেত রহিতস্য জুন মান উদঞ্চতি।
The progress of loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl is like the movement of a snake. On account of this, two types of anger arise between a young boy and girl: anger with cause and anger without cause. Purport: during the Rasa dance, one form of Krishna was between every two gopis, but by the side of Srimati Radharani, there was only one Krishna. Although this was the case, Srimati Radharani still manifested disagreement with Krishna. This verse is from Ujjwal Nilamani, Shringar Bheda Kathana, written by Sri Rupa Goswami.
And so, this is a great study of the nature of the loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis.
So this is a great study of the loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis.
Then amongst all the gopis, Radharani love is special.
Amongst all the gopis, Radharani's love is special.
That's why we offer our obeisances, especially Radharani.
That is why we offer our obeisances especially to Srimati Radharani.
শ্রী রাধার রাস পরিত্যাগ ফলে কৃষ্ণের তদন্বেষণ, ক্রোধ করি রাস ছাড়ি গেলা মান করি, তারে না দেখিয়া ব্যাকুল হইল হরি।
When Radharani left the Rasa dance out of anger and resentment, Lord Shri Krishna became very anxious because he could not see her.
So Radharani is the Aladini potency, pleasure potency of the Lord.
So Radharani is the Aladini potency, pleasure potency of the Lord.
So our intense dealings were always attracting Lord Krishna
Her intense dealings were always attracting Lord Krishna
in different ways.
So
this had them to the loving dealings at the moment of a snake. Describe the loving dealings like the moment of a snake.
So this verse describes the loving dealings at the moment of the dance snake.
Snake moves in a crooked manner.
Snakes move in a crooked manner.
And so similarly, the emotions, thoughts, sentiments in Radha and Krishna, like that, were unpredictable.
So like that, emotional dealings between Radha and Krishna were unpredictable.
The place in Raja called the Prema Sarovar.
There's a place in Vraja called Prema Sarovar,
Radha and Krishna were singing on the Julan.
where Radha Krishna were swinging on the Julan.
Then a bumblebee started to disturb Radharani.
But then a bumblebee started to disturb Radharani.
And Krishna asked Madhumangal to chase the bumblebee away.
Krishna asked Madhumangal to chase the bumblebee away.
And Madhumangal succeeded in chasing the bumblebee away.
Madhumangal succeeded in chasing the bumblebee away.
Then he sent Madhusudan as well.
And then he said that Madhusudan has gone.
Madhusudan means literally who eats madhu, honey.
Madhusudan literally means one who eats honey, madhu.
So a bee could be said to be a Madhusudan.
So a bee could be said to be a Madhusudan.
But also Madhusudan is the name of Krishna.
But also, Madhusudan is the name of Krishna.
As soon as he said Madhusudan left Radharani, he felt separation from Krishna.
As soon as he said Madhusudan has left, Srimati Radharani felt separation from Krishna.
Although Krishna was there,
Although Krishna was there,
so she started to cry.
so she started crying.
Krishna, I'm here. I don't go anywhere.
Krishna said, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere.
I see how much love I already have for him. He started to cry.
Seeing how much
started to cry.
love Radharani has for Krishna,
Krishna also cried.
Krishna also cried.
They filled up a pool,
They filled up a pool,
a lake.
a lake
That's called with their tears of love.
that's full of tears of love.
That lake is called the Prema Sarovar.
That lake is called Prema Sarovar.
Still there.
Still there.
সম্যক বাসনা কৃষ্ণের ইচ্ছা রাসলীলা রাসলীলা বাসনাতে রাধিকা শৃঙ্খলা
Lord Krishna's desire in the Rasa Leela circle is perfectly complete. But Srimati Radharani is the binding link in that desire.
তাহা বিনা রাসলীলা নাহি তার চিত্তে মণ্ডলী ছাড়িয়া গেলা রাধা শীতে
The Rasa dance does not shine in the heart of Krishna without Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he also gave up the circle of the Rasa dance and went out to search for her.
ইতস্তত ভূমিকাহা রাধা না পাইয়া বিষাদ করেন কাম বনে ভিন্ন হইয়া
When Krishna went out to search for Srimati Radharani, he wandered here and there. Not finding her, he became afflicted by the arrow of Cupid and began to lament.
কৃষ্ণ কামপূর্তি বিগ্রহ শ্রী রাধিকার অসমর্থত্ব শতকোটি গোপীতে নহে কাম নিবাপন তাহাতেই অনুমানী শ্রী রাধিকার গুণ
Since Krishna's lusty desires were not satisfied even in the midst of hundreds of thousands of gopis, and he was thus searching after Srimati Radharani, we can easily imagine how transcendently qualified she is.
We cannot compare Radharani with any mundane woman.
So we cannot compare Radharani with anyone in mundane world, mundane women.
She is especially manifesting the pleasure potency to give Krishna transcendental enjoyment.
She is specifically manifesting the pleasure potency to give Krishna pleasure,
Transcendental.
transcendental pleasure.
Krishna is completely transcendental.
Krishna is completely transcendental.
And that's why you understand that Radharani is also completely transcendental.
Therefore, we also understand that Srimati Radharani is also transcendental.
বক্তা রায়ের নিকট শ্রোতৃরূপে প্রভুর শিষ্যত্ব অভিমান প্রভু কয়ে যে লাগি আইলাম তোমার স্থানে সেই সব তত্ত্ববস্তু হইল মোর জ্ঞানে।
After hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Ramananda Rai, "That for which I have come to your residence has now become an object of truth in my knowledge."
Now this topic of Radha Krishna loving affairs,
So this topic of Radha Krishna's loving affairs
what Lord Chaitanya wanted to hear.
was what Lord Chaitanya wanted to hear.
And thus he achieved that by meeting Ramananda Rai.
And thus he achieved that by meeting Ramananda Raya.
He has said that whether one is a sannyasi or a Brahmin or a Sudra,
He has said that whether one is a sannyasi or a brahmana or a shudra
doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Whoever knows the science of Krishna consciousness,
Whoever knows the science of Krishna consciousness,
that person is a spiritual master.
that person is a spiritual master.
And we can see that and he has accepted Ramananda Rai as a Shiksha Guru himself.
We can see that he has accepted Ramananda Rai as a Shiksha Guru in some sense. Thus ends the chapter entitled Srimati Radharani's loving affairs are beyond compare.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.